if you want to see what we're doing tonight, so today we're gonna do face mask, as you can see. And then I'm going to show you how to make them from scratch with all the stuff in the house without sewing. Some of it will be sewn. So I make this face mask. And one of the problem I have with the face mask that's on the market is that I find it very hard to breathe. So it doesn't have space, and when you have space in them, then of course it's no use. So I designed one that has space here in between your nose, so it's easy to breathe and it lock around your nose. So anyway, so if we get up to 100 people who watch live, and I will be give out one prize. So there's also a mask adjuster. I don't know if you wear a mask lately because the government of Canada have been asking us to start wearing masks to help curb the thing. So one of these things is the back here, and it doesn't, so if you have to wear them for a long time, so this is one of the best thing that you can do, so it doesn't hurt your ear. So this is just, I will be showing you how to make this as well. And it can be wear under here or on top to crowd your head, like so. So keep the mask nice and tight. So we're gonna go through all this. It's very simple. A lot of them you don't actually need to do any sewing. But at the end, we're gonna show you how to make masks from used item around your house with your old tie or your old pillowcases. So we're gonna start with something simple and easy. So this is a relaunch of my wine and craft show. So if you're having have a class, go get yourself a drink if you want to cheer, and just leave a comment on the video, and then by the 30 person I'm going to give out one of the mask adapter, and then again at the 50 watch, and then the 100 watch you get a free mask. Alright, so it's all free, and if it's in Canada I would just ship them to Canada Post. So cheer everyone, I hope everybody keeps safe. So the first and easiest one is we all saw the sock, right? So you can take an old pair of sock. Ideally, if you're taking an old pair of sock, you want something actually a big pair, somebody have a big feet, because if you try to do this with a small sock, it's not gonna fit your face. So it's very simple. So you're just gonna cut about 1.5 inches below the curve of the heel. So you see the heel here, so you cut about 1.5 inches, the same thing on the top. So basically about 1.5 inches, where the heel of your sock are, and then you just cut it up in the front like so, and then right where the line is, right, so the center of the thing, you just make a little hole, and of course we're gonna trim the top up a little bit, right, and then you have a mask. So there you go, see? So this goes around your ear, and of course you can use the adapter. And now the other thing is, if you wear a lot of masks and you find this a little bit difficult to do, I have a little trick that you're using. If you wear eyeglasses, so you already have them, you put 2 buttons on them. So if you're using the button, we using button, and you can get this anywhere, like your old shirt or whatever, and then you use the twister. So these are stuff that you find in your house, like when you do grocery store to close up the bag. So you just cut them, and then what you do is you put them on top of your the button, or you can use the elastic. So the elastic that you use for your hair, so you put the elastic and then you put it on here, so on the tip of your glasses. So you wear them like so, and then you just wear the mask on top of the elastic with the button, like so, if I can get them on. So this app, again, is seal up everything here, but it holds into your glasses. And it's a similar idea as the headband. So we have a lot of headband that people asking for them. So you can use an old tie, just go like so, tie, make it tied it or glue gun it, and then you add 2 buttons and then you tie it up there. So do the same thing. So again, this way, I know a lot of people who will go back to work and then you have to wear them for a long time because you're going to be interacting with a lot of public. So this would actually take away that little pressure on your ear. So a lot of the face masks I have, these are the ones that I use in Asia, that I find a little bit difficult is, these are one that more for pollution, so it's not really for COVID because it doesn't cover everything. And it actually have a lot of opening for easy to breathe. So one of the things, if you do not know, back in the early, the Second World War, that we have the tissue paper and the toilet paper or the paper towel that we use, it actually designed for face mask, gas mask filter. So I will post these link on the study and the article underneath the video after the show. We can use these to actually create a disposable face mask, and you don't need any well, you don't really need sewing or anything. So what you need is, you need one 2 layer of these paper towel, right? You need a stapler, and you need some elastic band. So these elastic band, again, you can get them at the dollar store, or again, when you go shopping, you get a whole bunch of them. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna fold this in half. Actually, I think we need 3 of these. So we do 3 layers because we're gonna do double the fold. So do 3 layers like so. So you fold this in half, right? And then what we're gonna do here is you're gonna fold one end, overlap, and then you're gonna fold back, right? So you're gonna fold in and then you're gonna fold back. So I'm gonna do this quickly. So it's like this. So you have a folded here and it fold. So okay, so this is in the middle, and what you do is you're gonna fold this in like so, and this in like so. You got it? So it's very simple, right? So paper towel, if you have the half fly, so you do 3 of the fly, you fold it in half, and then you get the center. You're gonna do half a fold and half a fold, right? And then what we do is we put the elastic band in, and then you just staple it, right? So what that's gonna look like, I have one pre-made, it's like this. So you have a reading room in the back, so it open up so you can put your nose inside, and then you just put this around your ear. There you go. So it's easier to so if you don't have access to mask, or you can't find one, and then you need it to go into a store or something like that. So paper towel is also very good. So it has a temporary filter, and you just staple them here with the elastic band. All right, so the next one is we using, so you're able to buy some mask, right? So a lot of people just put on like so. And then it's not really any point if you just put on like this. You have space here, you have space here. So some of my medical friend who is a first responder, so what they show me is you fold inward like so, and you make a knot. So you tie them, right? Like that. And then you fold it in again. And then you make a knot on both sides. And then you put the folded side on the inside. Like so. And this way, the mask is sealed here, sealed all the way with bottom. Now, I have a little trick. So if you wear glasses, and then you wear the mask, and it falls up in your eye, right? So the best way is you have that little metal piece here. You're gonna press down on your nose, and then the wingtip on your nose, you're gonna press toward that. So what that does is secure the mask on your face without any air coming out, and at the same time, it doesn't fog your eyewear, right? So again, so if you wear sunglasses and you can put button here, so instead of go to your ear, you just add it to your button. Hi Janice! Hi Joanne! And so there you go. So this, you can actually do them with your kid, right? So if you have enough class, I hope you're doing well. So let's cheer to everybody. Alright, so you have these. So the reusable one thing is that if you wear these, don't take them on and off. So there's no point, because as soon as you take them off, they contaminate it inside and outside. So don't reuse these. So I do it sustainability. That's what my focus is. So I try not to use these too much if you can help it, because it's not really good for the environment. But you know, certain things that you can do need to use them, of course. So you know, you have to use what you have. Now the next one is, so we cover how to make the mask with paper towel, and then we use the buttons, so the hair with the elastic to tie your hair. So you put it on the glasses to wear. So let's put these aside. So the next one we're gonna use is, ta-da! So these are, of course, the bandana, right? So you're gonna fold the bandana. So if you have the bandana, go ahead and go get them. You're gonna fold it in 3. So the bandana is square, so you're gonna fold it in 3. So now with the repertory regulation and research, they say if you use high thread count of cotton, and then you use silk organza, or organza in general, they will help. It actually has the N95 masses. So so we're gonna do the same thing with the bandana. So you're gonna fold this in half, and then fold it out, fold it in half, and then you're gonna actually we're just gonna do 4 fold actually. So 4 fold like this. You're gonna fold it in like so, and then we're gonna just use the elastic band on both ends. So because the 4 fold, you can just tuck this on the inside of the mask when you open up the pleat without sewing. So it covers everything. You have to fold it up here, cover your nose, cover all the way underneath. And then, of course, you fold it in, so you don't actually need to sew anything. So, elastic band, a bandana, you're good to go. So, Ivy and Eden, now that you're making this, alright, so the next one that I'm gonna go through is made out of a pillowcase. So you can use any squad. I choose some of my old clothes, so I cut it up. So this is due on my old pattern, but if you want to make a permanent one like that, the handkerchief that I show you, then of course you can just sew it after you fold. You just sew it to end by hand, and then you'll be good to go. Now I'm gonna actually make the actual mask, which. So these are the pattern I created myself, but now they all wet because of the wine. So I'm just gonna put it underneath for now. Alright, so this is a silk handkerchiefs. They show in the study that it's also good for the air filter. So I use this in the inside of the mask. And then these are just scrap of fabric I have in the house. So I'm gonna use these. So I'm gonna sew these up, and then of course the silk organza gonna act as a mask filter in the between. So these will be reusable pieces. Now, so to do this, I actually have to thread some thread, which. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna sew the mask, which I should have done a little bit before. We have a little bit noisy outside, so I guess my neighbor is doing some moving, I guess. So I can't quite see, so I'm just gonna do this. Ah, there you go. Ta-da! So if you make a mask, the pattern, I have one of the pattern up in the on my page. So it actually have, you can make it out from the 8.5 by 11 piece of paper. So it shows you how to actually create one from scratch. So what you basically do is we're just gonna sew the top, the center up first, right? So we're just gonna do a base stitch quickly. So how is everybody dealing with all the COVID and stuff? It's quite sunny and beautiful outside, and a lot of people are taking it quite lightly. I went, not a lot of people wear masks, and it's still gathering, so a little bit disconcerting. But I guess everybody have their own free will and choose to do what they want. So we just wear the masks to protect the people around us, as well as protecting ourselves. But it's more of supporting and protecting the people that in our life, right? And the mask, when you wear I know when I first wear the mask, it's a little bit difficult and you can't really breathe. And I find that a little bit disconcerting, because you get a little bit claustrophobic and you just want to rip the mask off, really. So if that happened, and so I would suggest you would go to a safe area that not a lot of people, take off the mask and then give yourself a breather and then continue on. Again, is a two-way stream. I saw somebody on the Facebook say, they're not gonna wear them because they have respiratory system, and now that the government come out, suggest us to wear the mask because, well, it basically is to keep everybody safe, and the people who are working, that it now open up the business. So if we all do our part, we get out this sooner. So there you go. Here. So we sew this. And then we sew another one here. So you tie a knot so it doesn't run. So basically, there you go. And then we're just gonna do a fast base stitch. And then that's it. There you go. It's nice and simple. Tie it at the end here so it doesn't slit. So from here, cut this up. So I'm gonna open it up. And then we got a cute mask. Ta-da! Alright, so now to make the filter for the mask, I'm just gonna sew the base stitch on top. On the inside, like so. See? So you sew the base stitch on it. I have some thread here so you're gonna do that. So let's see, I think this doesn't, it's kind of hard to do a thread when it's black on black. And I'm using the biggest needle I can find. Alright, so here, gonna do a sewing like so. Now, you're gonna sew this together. So, to sew this and make sure they stay in place, I just pin it on top, in the center. So, it evenly divided on both sides. So, this act has a filter for the mask. And then with your hand stitches quickly. Ah! No, I'm joking. So like that. So with everybody watching from, so if you want to leave a comment in the comment and just, create a community, it'd be great. Yeah. Stitching. So we got the top part, and then to pull it down, make sure it's nice and smooth. And then I do a knot at the end of the closure. So if you want, you can also, if you don't know how to sew, you can also use the glue gun that I have it ready. So I'm gonna show you how to do that in a second. So now I'm gonna trim off the excess of the top. Clean this and put it on the side. Now, so these are the garden. These are the garden twists. So again, you can use these wire twists for bag closure, right? So I took, if you do, then we need 2 of them. So I'm just gonna use the length of 2. Bag twister has a wire on top of the face mask. So I'm just gonna cut this up. And then I'm just gonna twist it, so bind them together, and then there you go. So we got that, and I'm just gonna place it here on top, like so. And I'm gonna turn this to the right side. So make sure you keep your hand there, and then you go in and just flip it open, like so. So we got the little, where's my mask? Little wire thing on the top here. And then I'm just gonna stitch that down so to secure it in place so it's not gonna move. So to do that, you make a little knot, like so. So this is, if you need something to stress, if you are stressed and then you need something to basically take your mind off these anxiety and stress, a little mindful task is actually very helpful to bring you back to the present, right? So I'm gonna stitch right tightly on the edge of the wire. So just in and out. So we reached at the end. So I'm gonna just tie up the knot, so secure the wire right into the tip. And then we got it. Now we need to tack down the filter. So this is a new silk organza. I guess you can order this online. I just have this in stock. You know, I still have some left from my olden day that I'm working in this fashion industry. But I think the silk organza, I think it would be the most expensive. But again, you can also use your handkerchiefs or your face what do you call those things, scarf. So a lot of us have scarf, and they come in organza, so it's a sheer fabric. So here I just tack down the face filter, so it's for your nose and your mouth, and this part go at the bottom of your chin, so it should be okay. So just tack it so stay in place so it doesn't move around. So this is on the in between the two sides of the mask, right? Now I'm gonna flip it back into right side and right side, and then I'm gonna hand sew along the seam up the bottom piece. So we sew the top, now we're gonna sew the bottom. Cheer. So make sure you have enough thread. And you want to wet the thread so it can be nice and stiff for you to pass through the needle hole. And one of the trick is I usually put it against something white, so you can actually see it. But if you have very good eyesight, you don't, then that is up to you. And then we gonna so the stitch that I'm using is it's a simple base stitch, and it's also used in Saraku stitching. It's a Japanese word for visible mending, right? So there are movements that people use these stitches to create different things. So if you look at my shirt, this is what we call siaku stitching. So it basically geometrical pattern and shape that you can do to create a stitch. And as you can see, it's very easy to do because it's all a simple base stitch. And the trick to do these stitching, one of the thing is now we want to, so we do the closure on the bottom of the mask. So we want to make sure the center seam of the mask line up. So I'm just gonna use a pin and then pin right into them, right? So if you do the stitching up, so I don't think I pronounced it right. Oh, why didn't usually do that, right? The Japanese visible mending, then you make sure the bottom stitch and the top stitch are even length, so they are exactly the same length at the bottom and the in-between stitches. So we are almost more than halfway done with the mask. So as you can see, it's very simple to make one, and you can pretty much make them with an old bed sheet that you know that have hole in them. So the higher the thread count, based on the study of the I believe it's at Michigan University, on a respiratory system, the better. So if you have high thread count bed sheet, they are perfect to make face masks reusable. And what you can do is once you use them, you can also wash it. So you can do a quick hand wash with this soap, because this soap have a little bit of chlorine or bleach in them, and that of course can kill pretty much any bacteria or virus. So, and because cotton, if you hang it dry in the airy area of your house, you can reuse the mask again, and clean mask within a few hours. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna invert it into the right side. So this is the wrong side of the mask, right? So we're gonna use the hole and we're gonna bring everything out. And then make sure the filter it evenly spread out underneath. So the filter is here. So when I put it on, as you can see, it covers my face. And now we have a mask. So now, so this is doable already. So if you want, you have two choices. You can hand stitch this in like so. So what I do is I fold it half an inch in, and I fold it half an inch in again, like so. So what that does is it creates a pleat. So when you wear the mask, it's sealed right onto the face. So you might see it better here, right? So it's sealed, so it open up and it's sealed right onto the face. So that way it's easier. Okay, so now we got a mask, and then we just use two elastic band. Right? We're gonna put it at the end, like so. And then we fold it in, as I describe it. Oh, sorry. Before we do that, we should actually do a closure so it's nice and clean on the edge. And then fold it in, like so. Use the elastic band. If you are a little bit anal repentant, you want to stitch this first before you stitch it again. So we're gonna do an even stitch on the top to close it. But because we're short of time and we're on air, I'm just gonna skip that little part. I'm just gonna go right in, fold it in like so, and then I do a stitch right across. You should have a little knot at the end so the thread doesn't go right through. And it's quite thick. And if you find it hard to pull, so we want to do a field pull because it's gonna have a lot of pull on them, right? If you find it difficult to have the needle go through, you can use flyer, the hardware to pull the needle on both sides. But I'm just using force pour everything out. There. And then we have a mask. So I'm gonna finish it on the edge. Ah! So don't poke yourself with the needle. It's a little painful. I didn't bleed. Alright, so do a closure again, a few times around so it's just nice and secure, and then we do a knot. So basically you just tie a knot. And then we got one side done. I cut into the mask. Alright, so now we're gonna do the other side. Cut. So another option I forgot to use is safety pin. So do know this. So let's say you don't know how to sew, so you glue gun the top, the bottom together, and now you're gonna close it like so, and then you're gonna fold one in, so about 3/8 of an inch, about 1 centimeter. And now you're gonna fold it again with this, right? It's the elastic hook on the inside, and then you use the safety pin, you just pin it in. So you can either use your sewing skill or a safety pin. So the same thing. Now let's test our mask. There you go. So I'm using safety pin on one side and sewing on the other side, and it's a nice, easy. So there you go, a full mask within 20 minutes or 30 minutes. So I'm just doing it quickly because I already pre-prepared everything. So if you are a novice sewer, it probably take about an hour to 3 hours. It depends how fast you can sew. And again, I'm using fabric scrap, old t-shirt, old dress shirt actually, from and silk organza from the scarf, and then I also use high thread cow bed sheet. Now, to do the back adjustment, right? So this can wear, have the mask on top of here, and then you just hook a mask on this, like so. Wrong side. And then you round. So this way, the mask stay on, and it doesn't hurt your ears. So to make this, you have a few simple solution. So I'm using a button with the twist, right? And then I just add it right onto the elastic. So it will act the same way. So if you have an elastic band, what you're gonna do is you're gonna tie it into one end, like so. And then, of course, you do the same thing, just hook it right on. So therefore, you put it on the crown, away from your ears, and it stays on top, and it doesn't pull on your ears. So just an elastic band with a button, with a wire twister to closure, and you got the same thing as our that basically is a closure, right? Closure adjustment. So you have that. And now, before I continue, if you drink something, it's a little bit wet. All right, let's put this aside. Now, if you want to make one of these, they are extremely simple to do. So we always see box of chocolate that have ribbon wrapped around them, right? So you basically just cut them up, and then I don't have any, so I'm just gonna go get one. So 1 second. So we receive box of chocolate or whatever. They always, some of them come with a ribbon. So what you want to do is, so I got a chocolate ribbon. So I'm gonna cut them to about, I would say 4 inches, right? So I'm gonna cut them 4 inches, guessing. Now, what with ribbon is they fray a little bit. A little trick, it become ribbon, it make out polyester. Polyester is a form up. If I can turn this on. A plastic. So to make sure the ribbon doesn't fray, like so. Oops. What happened? So we just pass them through fire, just slightly on the top, and you will see it will seal in the edge. So you don't have to sew it, so you just pass it right on top of the flame, but don't hold it there, just pass it through. And then as you see, it has a sealer for the ribbon. So with this, what you do is, if you're gonna use a ribbon, you can also use the twister or use a needle. So you basically just sew button on them, and then you place it behind, and then you just find whatever the comfortable position is for your ear. So you do 1, 2, 3, 4, so 2 each side. Or if you use this here is the one that I made. It made out of elastic, and this one it made out the same silk material with the 2 buttons. I don't know if you can see. So you see the button here, yeah. So you just basically, instead of using elastic here for closure, so see this? You hook the button in like so, pass it through the face to the other side, hook it in, and then voila. Of course, this is much easier when you do them on yourself. So I usually like to wear them on top of the crown because it seals the bottom as well. There you go. So you got that, right? So this is basically the adjuster. So if you somebody who wear them for more than half an hour or all day, it's one of the best way to do them. And the other option, of course, is we talked earlier, is the little button on your eyeglasses. Now, a lot of people also wear the protective glasses because we don't want the transmission of the COVID. So you can also add that on the edge of your glasses. So to do this is quite simple. What I did is I used an elastic, a tiny elastic that you use for your hair. So you put it through two little buttons and then you just pass it through your glasses. Or if you don't, you use a twister like so. So I have one pre-made here. So I put the twister through. See that? And then I put them through the glasses like so. And then I just twist it tightly in. And now this way, the raw added on the outside and it doesn't hurt you. But what it does is, so when you wear the glasses, and we just make this, right? So before we do that actually, so the little trick is to have flat it on your nose and press down on the tip, right? And then you put it on top, put the glasses on, and then just attach them to the little button. So set your ear, and this way you still on top of your eye. There you go. So that concludes all the stuff that we can do for the mask, and I hope you like it. So give it a like on the video. Everyone stay safe, and I wish you well. Bye bye.